The city of Mission Viejo is proud to be the first U.S. city to host the ITF Wheelchair Doubles Masters and the NEC Singles Tennis Masters. These tournaments will showcase the world's top wheelchair tennis players. Today on Coach's Corner, we have a preview of this extraordinary event. I'm Paul Higgins, and all the action starts right now. Hello everybody, I'm Paul Higgins and welcome to this edition of Coach's Corner on location at the shops in Mission Viejo. As you can tell, we have a fantastic show tonight with a bunch of great athletes, and we're happy to have the wheelchair tennis and representing wheelchair tennis right here on Coach's Corner. A couple of my guests to start off the show tonight. They are very special in our community and have been for quite some time. And Jason Harnett is the coach of the wheelchair tennis, and we'll talk to you about that. And also Brad Parks, he's one of the creators of the sport of wheelchair tennis. He's very modest about that, so we're going to have to get that out of him. But it is an exciting time for both of them, because coming up right here in the city in Mission Viejo, you might see these flyers floating around town. Well, what's coming up on November 5th through the 11th, it is the NEC Wheelchair Tennis Masters along with the ITF Wheelchair Double Masters, and we'll tell you the difference between the two. Normally, they're singles and doubles, so we'll tell you a little bit about that. But it is the world's best wheelchair tennis players coming to Mission Viejo, so you definitely want to come out and support it. So Jason and Brad, welcome to Coach's Corner. I think I got a lot of the particulars out of the way, so we can settle in and start talking about tennis. Now, you've been coaching this since 1999, is that right?
96. 96 actually.
Now how did you get into this and coach wheelchair tennis? Because it hasn't been around a whole lot of years.
Yeah, I came to the city of Mission Viejo to work officially as a tennis pro in 1996, and the gentleman who hired me was involved with wheelchair tennis, and he asked me to start a Thursday night clinic with him.
Okay.
And from there we met players, and in 1998 the United States Tennis Association was looking for national coaches, and I submitted an application and was hired on as an USTA national coach, and I've been involved ever since, working with some of our best athletes. Yeah.
I want to get in your head about that too, and why you decided to do that. And Brad, you are modest. You said, I'm one of the creators of this sport, but I'm not really that. But you are that guy. You did make this happen. Tell me your thought process and what inspired you to do it.
Well, when I broke my back, I had a skiing accident in 1976. I was a competitive freestyle skier and over-rotated a backflip, and I was in the hospital, and the doctor said I'm never going to walk again, and I thought, well, I really hoped that I would, but if I didn't, I need to think of what I can still do. And I was a sportsman. I loved to surf, I loved to ski, I loved to, I played all different sports growing up, and I wanted to just continue to do sports, and I thought, I wonder if I could play tennis. So shortly after I got out of the hospital, my folks were playing, and my dad knew that I was thinking about this, and he said, well, Brad, come on over and let's try it. And so I hit, and really the first couple of hits I thought, wow, this is fun, and I thought, well, I'd give myself a year to see if I could do it, and I've been playing ever since.
That's amazing. I don't call you disabled athletes, I call you abled athletes. I mean, what your story is incredible. Obviously you were and are a great athlete. Going upside down on a pair of skis, that's quite a feat, even back then. But your thoughts, how do you mentor younger players that maybe have had an accident, that are coming in for therapy and in this sport and maybe trying to get involved in it, and then it catches fire? Tell me about that process.
Well, when I was in the hospital, a girl came and visited me who was just getting ready to leave the rehab center. And she, to me, was, she's already been through rehab. She's young, she's active, and she was like my first role model. And then I started meeting, when I got involved in other wheelchair athletics, tennis, and they had track and basketball in those days, I started meeting guys who had been there before me, and they were the perfect role models for me. And so the perfect role model for somebody new is somebody who's kind of been there before, and that's the great example. So you can just share, things that you're going through, and they can see through example of because I know that the best role models for me were guys who were already accomplished and already doing things, and I could watch them and see what they do, and I think that's where where it's important just for those to, and that's one of the good things about this event that we have going on is a lot of new players and young kids in wheelchairs are going to see these great athletes and they're going to be great examples for them and help them.
I love it when I can ask a question and people can just talk about it. It's awesome. No, it is awesome. Really, it is. It's so cool. And I want to get into your head about why you decided to do this. I mean, obviously that you're a very compassionate person and you fell in love with these guys and what they're doing. So I'm sure a lot of credit and a lot of handshaking goes along with you. So we'll talk about that. The tennis center at Mission Viejo, it is incredible. If you've driven by Marguerite Parkway and looked over to where the pool is and now the amazing tennis center, that's where the event is going to be. You're going to want to visit it, and it's going to be November 5th through the 11th. We'll talk much more about it when we come back. You're watching Coach's Corner on location right here at the shops in Mission Viejo. Mission Basilica School, located in historic San Juan Capistrano, is a blue ribbon school focused not only on quality education but spiritual enlightenment, creating a learning environment that's second to none.
I love the feel of the school and what it brings.
They're wonderful kids, have great family lives. They are brothers and sisters once they reach the campus.
A blue ribbon school for academic excellence, located on the beautiful grounds of Mission San Juan Capistrano. Hello everybody, welcome back to Coach's Corner on location right here at the shops in Mission Viejo. Talking about wheelchair tennis, the big event coming up on November 5th. It goes through the November 11th. The city of Mission Viejo, make sure you go by the Marguerite Tennis Pavilion. Two of the big people that are going to be there are joining me right now on Coach's Corner. Jason Harnett, who is a coach and been involved since 1996, and also Brad Parks, who just shared his incredible story with us. And I wanted to ask you, Jason, you had an opportunity not to coach these guys, but you decided, these men and women, but you decided to coach them. Why?
When we started back in 1996, starting a weekly clinic in the city, I was introduced to a bunch of players, a lot of local players who had a huge passion for the sport, obviously following this man's lead. And just wonderful people, had a passion for the sport that I grew up playing, playing through college, coming back, now giving back as a coach. These players are amazing. And one in particular, a gentleman by the name of Steve Everett, asked me to travel with him to Atlanta, to Japan, to a bunch of different places. And so when you saw the passion, the professionalism of the sport, it just made me want to get more and more involved. And in 1998, when the USTA came on board, again looking for national coaches, I saw it as a young guy, maybe an opportunity to travel, coach a little bit. And our first international trip was to Barcelona, Spain. And that was a great start. And every year since, going to the Team World Championships, I think, like as any coach who gets deeply involved with their athletes, you see the passion in them, and it raises your own passions, and it's only grown with the with the USTA and the ITF coming together and building this wonderful tour that's worldwide. I think in 80 different countries, 120 tournaments all over the world. It's involved in all the Grand Slam events, and I think of all the Paralympic sports, it's now probably considered the most professional event. To be a part of that, going back to '96 and seeing the growth, I think over the last almost 20 years, it's incredible where it's come from. And again, it all goes back to this gentleman here who started it all.
Brad, I know you probably had some memorable moments out there in the tennis court, but when you look at the overall experience, could you continue to play and you continue to see young talent come up? Any memorable experiences that might pop out when you think about what you've done?
Well, yeah, many. In fact, we did our first junior wheelchair tennis camp in the city of Mission Viejo that the Mission Viejo company actually sponsored, and the first time we got all these great Paralympic athletes to come and to coach kids in wheelchairs, and some of these kids are actively playing today that all started here in Mission Viejo, but also we had the U.S. Open that was held at the Rack Club of Irvine for 18 years, and I was in the finals of about 10 of them, and I won 3 singles and won 10 doubles events during my career. And we had some really fantastic tournaments there. We had 100 to 200 athletes that played in these events, and we had good crowds, and the sport then has kind of left and really kind of developed really in Europe. And so for us to get back and to have a major wheelchair tennis event here in Southern California, to me, is so exciting and so thrilling. And I think that it's going to be really inspirational to a lot of people and help encourage the sport here in California.
Do you like singles or doubles?
Well, personally, I love playing both. I love playing singles. I love competing just against some of the top guys in my time who played that were my nemesises and all. But I was very successful in doubles, and you talk about one of the things that I remember the most, and I won the gold medal in Barcelona in '92. Playing with my nemesis. We had never played doubles together. We always played singles against each other, and we, in the first 10 U.S. Opens, we pretty much played each other, and he won a few more than me. But then we finally,
friends, huh?
well, we had become good friends.
Yeah.
I mean, we were competitors, so it was very difficult. Yeah, well, not quite that bad, but anyway, we did team up that one time and we won, and it was a really definitely something that I'll cherish from a competitive standpoint.
You are certainly an inspiration, that's for sure. And I have to ask you before I let you go, are you a Bruin fan?
I am. I actually went to UC Santa Barbara, but my daughter went there, and so I didn't wear this I just happened to wear this today. But no, my daughter went there, and I loved watching him this weekend.
Well, you got to represent, right?
Yep.
We look forward to seeing you November 5th through the 11th. Again, created the sport, pretty amazing, and I don't get an opportunity to talk to too many people that actually created a sport. Maybe you and I will figure out something someday. We'll be back with more of Coach's Corner, another special player joining us in just a moment. Mission Basilica School is a Catholic parochial school with single-grade classrooms from pre-kindergarten through 8th grade.
We have absolutely the best to offer in education. We don't just educate the child academically. They are nurtured spiritually. They are guided through their spiritual journey. They are loved, every being of them.
A blue ribbon school for academic excellence, located on the beautiful grounds of Mission San Juan Capistrano, Mission Basilica School. Hello everybody, welcome back to this edition of Coach's Corner, once again on location at the Shops in Mission Viejo. We really appreciate the support of the Shops in Mission Viejo, and of course, it's going to be fall season coming up, so this place is going to be very busy. Also, in November 5th through the 11th, as we've been talking about it, it is the world's greatest wheelchair tennis players coming to Mission Viejo. If you want to learn more about the event, in the city of Mission Viejo, they distribute this great magazine. In the side of it, you'll find a great article about the event. Make sure you pick it up, read about these men and women. They are fantastic athletes, and yet we have another one joining us right now, all the way coming up from San Diego. We're so fortunate to be able to interview him tonight, Greg Hasterock. And Greg, welcome to Coach's Corner. I really enjoyed talking to you just a few minutes ago. And if you don't mind, you and I were talking about your story, and your story really started on a motorcycle 12 years ago. Tell me about that.
I was just driving home from San Diego State University, took the turn a little too fast, hit a guardrail, flipped over it, landed head first and broke my back, and tore a bunch of the nerves in my right arm in the same injury, and became quadriplegic.
It's amazing though, because here you are, one of the best tennis players in the world. You're going to be playing in mixed doubles with a female from Canada, who we'll learn about. And this is your first major championship. A little nervous?
A little nervous, yeah. I've played all these other players in the past, so it's not going to be too bad. But being a Masters, being here in Southern California, in front of the home crowd, it's going to be a little nerve-wracking, but also it's going to be a lot of confidence behind that, playing in front of friends and family.
And your story gets even more interesting because you're actually right-handed. Now you've had to learn how to play left-handed.
Yes, I was right-handed before my injury, and I tore a bunch of the nerves, like I said, in my right hand, where the fingers of my right hand don't work. My left hand is 100%, so I either had to learn to play with the racket taped into my right hand or learn to play left-handed, and I chose left-handed, and liking the results so far.
Jason, it's insane. I mean, you know, Do you when you hear that story, and you've heard several stories like that, you know, it's an amazing accomplishment to be able to do what he's doing at the level he's doing it at.
Right. Yeah, the adaptation, I think for a lot of the athletes, I think pre-injury, you know, sometimes your dominant hand is no longer functional, and you got to go with the non-dominant. And again, the adaptation that a lot of these guys go through and women go through, it's phenomenal. Yeah. And I think that's what, and as I was telling you on the break, I think most people will come to this event with a preconceived idea of what they're going to see. And then they're going to see these guys play, and they're going to be blown away. Right. And I think the best way you can describe it is saying you have a professional tennis player who happens to be in a wheelchair. Yeah. And that's really the way you got to look at it. The chair is just something that allows them to get around. Right. But the actual tactics and the talent is the same as any professional tennis player. Yep. And I think that's what people are going to love the most.
Now, is this something that you can actually, I know this is a stretch on this question, can you make a living doing this, or is there any money involved in all? Tell me about that.
There's a few of the top elite players that do make a living doing it. Most of us just do it because we love it. I have a job on the side. I work for a shop that builds rugby wheelchairs, and they're gracious enough to give me all the time off I need to play tennis. But yeah, I mean, we do it because we love it. There is some money to be made, and you can make a decent living, but it's we're not Federer and Nadal here. Right. We're not making the millions.
You got to win.
You've just spawned so many questions in my mind when you said that, but when you think of the equipment and what they're up against, you know, when you're out there on the tennis court watching these guys, they don't seem like they're separated by anything. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the quality of equipment now, and when we met Brad Parks earlier and looking at the quality of the wheelchair alone, going back to the late 70s, early 80s, the quality of material, the quality of the craftsmanship, and Greg being involved in chair building, it is so much better now. And the weight of the chairs is down, the agility in the chairs, the tennis rackets. I mean, all the technology really is making the quality of the sport, both able body and wheelchair tennis, better. And I think wheelchair tennis is a sport that you can look to and see where technology has made really a tremendous difference, I think, in the quality of the athlete.
Before we go to our break real quickly, what was the sport that you enjoyed playing before your accident?
I was really big into volleyball and football. I played tennis in high school PE, and you know, at the time I thought, oh, this is a girls' sport. I'm not playing tennis. And as soon as I tried it in the wheelchair, I completely fell in love with it. And wished I'd been playing it since I was a child. That's an amazing story. We'll talk more about it. Of course, Greg Hasterrock is going to be playing the doubles masters. He'll be playing with a female partner, and that again will be the mixed division November 5th through November 11th. We'll be back with more of Coach's Corner on location right here at the shops in Mission Viejo after this. Mission Basilica School is a Catholic parochial school with single-grade classrooms from pre-kindergarten through 8th grade.
We have absolutely the best to offer in education. We don't just educate the child academically. They are nurtured spiritually. They are guided through their spiritual journey. They are loved, every being of them.
A blue ribbon school for academic excellence, located on the beautiful grounds of Mission San Juan Capistrano, Mission Basilica School. Hello everybody, welcome back to Coach's Corner on location. Make sure you mark November 5th through November 11th on your calendar and go to the city of Mission Viejo. Joining me right now is Jason Harnett. He is the coach of the Wheelchair Tennis Championship coming up. He coaches these guys since 1996. And also joining us is Greg Hasterrock. And Greg, a little while ago, I asked Brad, and I told Brad, I said, Brad, I don't see you guys as disabled athletes. You guys are abled athletes. And that's how you see yourself, right?
I just see myself as an athlete.
That's right.
It's I use the wheelchair to get around, and it's my legs now, and I work as hard as all the other athletes out there, and I enjoy playing sports, and I've been fortunate to have the opportunity to do so.
Do you mentor younger athletes? I mean, with that attitude and what you just said was dead on. I mean, they need to hear that. People that end up, you know, in a situation similar to yours, they need that mental toughness.
I try and do whenever I can, help out with a lot of the kids camps that are held here in San Diego and Santa Barbara, you know, pretty much all of Southern California. And I received so much help coming up as a newly disabled person and then athlete. And if I can give back to anyone, I'm more than happy to do so.
Yeah.
It's given me opportunities in life I never thought I'd have possible.
No doubt about it.
Such as playing in the doubles masters here in another couple of weeks.
Jason, it's pretty amazing. You probably have tons of stories, great stories to tell about athletes, but your enthusiasm for this really shines. I mean, you were telling me about your college tennis career up in Seattle, and what you went to modern day high school and in high school, but the passion that you bring, where does that come from? I mean, has there ever been a family member been in a similar situation, or how did you gravitate above and beyond in what you're doing?
I think it goes back to the athletes. I've been very, very fortunate when I first started that I was working with great athletes from the beginning.
Yeah.
They just happen to be in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
And so when you look at it that way, their passion for training, their goals, their dreams are just like any other professional athletes or collegiate athletes that I've worked with, able-bodied athletes. And I think that motivates us, especially able-bodied coaches, to go, you know what, we need to pay attention to these athletes as much as anybody else. And with the city's renovation of the tennis pavilion, we came up with the idea of going, maybe we should put a bid in for the World Championships. It's the highest quality facility, and looking at the logistics, I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen these athletes play, for us to bring it back here to Southern California, it's going to be an amazing event. I mean, really one you wouldn't want to miss if you're a tennis fan or just a fan of sports in general, I think.
No doubt about it. And Greg, you're going to be playing with a female partner from Canada. Have you ever played with her before?
I have. I played with, her name's Sarah Hunter. I played with her in Paris this past year. We had some pretty good results. We ended up losing in the final to David Wagner, my training partner in the #1 quad in the world, and his partner Adrian Dielman, another player from Canada.
Okay.
It was a close 3-setter, but they squeaked it out this time, and hopefully Sarah and I will have a little bit better results this time.
How exhausting is it playing?
It's, you put everything you have into it, and you're definitely worn out at the end of a good match, but that's half the fun. It's, you put everything on the line, you do everything you can to win, and sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but that's part of sports.
Can you play more than one a day, or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Occasionally at tournaments we play one singles and one doubles a day.
Okay, yeah.
I've played some tournaments where I've played 3 to 4 matches in a day. Just one after another, scheduling conflicts, weather.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah.
It's I'm here to play as much as I can and win, and that's.
I like it. I'm here to play as much as I can and win. That's a good.
They tell you when to go on court and you do it.
Yeah. Well, I congratulate you for all your success playing in the World Championship of Wheelchair Tennis coming up. Again, he has a mixed partner, so that is going to be really special. Thank you so much, Greg, for stopping by and driving up from San Diego. Jason, great job. Your passion really shines through. City of Mission Viejo is very, very fortunate to have you on board with this event, and congratulations to everything you've done. I know these guys appreciate it. Again, that event November 5th through the 11th. It is the World Championship of Wheelchair Tennis. It's going to be fantastic, and you probably see us there once again, hopefully doing yet another Coach's Corner as we get closer to the event. Until next time, I'm Paul Higgins. Thank you so much for watching Coach's Corner right here at the Shops of Mission Viejo. So long, everybody.